All right, good evening, everyone. We want to welcome everybody out to our board meeting tonight. We want to thank everybody for coming, whether it's in person or online. This will be not live streamed on YouTube, but it is being recorded and it will be uploaded to YouTube when it's done, whenever it does, the technology works. So we're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. And we'll start with our land acknowledgement. Alex, you're going to lead us in that.
We honor the first peoples of these lands by acknowledging that the area in which we gather is within the traditional territory of the Stillaguamish tribe of Indians. The Stillaguamish people have inhabited these lands and waters since time immemorial, and their ancestors have remained in this territory to this day. The Stillaguamish people have continued to practice the traditional ways of their ancestors of fishing, hunting, and gathering. The Stillaguamish tribe has had these lands and traditional traditions passed on to them by their ancestors, who believe that everything has a spirit and they are the caretakers of these lands and waters.
Everyone please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next, we'll have our roll call attendance. Madam Clerk. Director Diamond.
Here.
Director Kelly. Here. Director Watts. Present. President Levesque. Here. Director Knapp. Here. Student Advisor Van Beek. Student Advisor Phillips. Here. Superintendent Sweeting. Here. Thank you. Next, we'll have our approval of the agenda. Is there anything anyone would like to change on tonight's agenda? Or do we have a motion to approve it as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve it as presented. I'll second.
It's been moved by Director Watts and seconded by Director Kelly to approve the agenda as presented. Madam Clerk. Director Diamond.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Watts.
Aye.
President Levesque. Aye. Director Knapp. Aye. Thank you. The agenda is approved as presented. We have two sets of minutes to approve, our study session and regular meeting minutes from April 27th, and then our special joint meeting with Lakewood minutes from May 4th. Do we have a motion to approve April 27th?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes for April 27th.
I'll second. It's been moved by Director Diamond and seconded by Director Knapp to approve the April 27th meeting minutes. Madam Clerk. Director Diamond.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Watts.
Aye.
President Levesque. Aye. Director Knapp. Aye. Thank you. The April 27th meetings minutes are approved. We have a motion for May the 4th meeting minutes.
Make a motion we post for the special joint meeting with Lakewood, May 4th.
I would like to second those minutes.
It's been moved by Director Kelly and seconded by Director Diamond to approve May the 4th meeting minutes. Madam Clerk. Director Diamond.
Yes.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Watts.
Aye.
President Levesque. Yes. Director Knapp. Yes. Okay, and then the fun part of the night is our presentation portion of our evening, and our first presentation is our student presentation, and we're going to be presented all about the Pioneer Elementary House System. And I'd like to welcome Sarah Durant, our Pioneer Elementary principal, and many students to please come on up. Welcome.
So now this is our one up here. Okay, and then our order. We are seeing.
Good evening. I am Sarah Durant and I'm the principal of Pioneer Elementary. I am excited to bring to you 8 fantastic students that are here to talk about our house system. These 8 students were selected from an essay competition that we had. That originally we were only going to have 4 winners, but we had over 100 essays entered. And so we could not just select 4. So we have selected 8 students to talk about the house system. First, before we start the presentation, we're going to start down with Sophia. Each-
Grace, I'm 8 and my house is Concordia. I'm Yassine and I'm in first grade and my house is Alvesia. Hello, I'm Lucas. I'm in fourth grade and my house is Alvesia. Well, I'm Amelia. I'm in second grade and my house is Constantina. Hi, I'm Chelsea. I'm in fourth grade and I'm in Constantia. Evie, I'm in fourth grade. I'm in Dignitas. Hi, I'm Stella. I'm in fifth grade and I'm in Dignitas.
So we're going to talk a little bit about our house system. Each student is going to read their essays. Then we have a slideshow with our school song to show you. So we'll go ahead and start us off. Lucas.
Good morning, members of the school board, administrators, families, and guests. We are proud students for Pioneer, and tonight we are excited to share one of the most meaningful parts of our school community, our house system. Our house system helps bring students together across grade level. It gives every student a place to belong, encourages positive behavior, and builds leadership, teamwork, and school pride. At Pioneer, every student and staff member lives in one of 4 houses. Each house represents an important character trait that helps us grow into strong learners and caring citizens. Our 4 houses are Concordia, Officium, Constantia, and Dignitas. Tonight, we would like to introduce each house before we read our personal essays about what the house system means to us. Our first house is Concordia, which stands for cooperation. Concordia is represented by the elephant, a symbol of wisdom, care, and strength. Its symbol is the laurel wreath, reminding us that success comes when we work together. Black is the house color, representing unity and strength. Our second house is Officium, which stands for responsibility. Officium is represented by the lion, showing bravery and leadership. Its symbol is a flame, reminding us to stay determined and keep our promises. Red is a house color representing courage and action. Our third house is Constantia, which stands for perseverance. Constantia is represented by a wolf, known for strength and determination. Its symbol is the mountain, reminding us to keep climbing towards our goal. Blue is the house color, representing courage and calm. Our fourth house is Dignitas, which stands for respect. Dignitas is represented by the owl, a symbol of wisdom and listening. Its symbol is the lantern, reminding us to shine our light through kindness and fairness and thoughtful actions. Green is the house color. The house system helps us celebrate positive character, build friendships, and grow as leaders. It gives every student a place to belong and reminds us that who we are matters just as much as what we learn. What it means to me to be a part of my house. Being a part of my house, Concordia, means to me that I am part of a kind, supportive, and competitive team. It also means to me that everyone in my house, including the teachers, gets to be part of the team that is just really excited about the activities that we did. Being in my house also means that I can do fun chants with them too. Another reason I like being a part of my house is because if you have any ideas to share with just a partner or even the whole house, everyone is pleased to listen. I also really like being part of my house because not only are the students there to be competing in the challenges, even the teachers are there. A last reason I like being in my house is because when we get into partnering, I usually see a lot of cooperation. Why I enjoy our house system at school. I enjoy our house system at Pioneer Elementary because from the moment you get to Pioneer, you get to feel house here. It's just an exciting moment. I also really like the house system because if you're a new student speaking of experience, it gives you a chance to make new friends and see how many of your classmates are in the same house as you. Another reason I enjoy our house system at school is because all students, no matter what grade you're in, you get to learn a thing or two about cooperation, kindness, sharing ideas, and just how to be a wonderful team. In conclusion, I really enjoy our house system at school, and I'm glad to be a part of my house. Thank you for your time. Sincerely, Sophia Herrera. Today I'm here to talk to you about the reasons I enjoy the house system. This new system is one of my favorite changes that has been made here at Pioneer. A few reasons I enjoy this system include the new game Minute to Win that we do during house time, and the new TV that the school has placed in the main hallway of the school so that us students can look at the house points. I think Minute to Win It is a fun
an interactive game I and most likely other students enjoy. I enjoy how two students from each house are chosen to play the game, which gives everyone an opportunity to participate. I also think some friendly competition is necessary for house time, as it adds a way for us to get to know each other and make new friends. I also appreciate the new TV because that way students can look at the leaderboard and see which house is in what place. Us students can also see who just got a house point as it happened and which house that gets it. This makes me and other students feel included. Lastly, I have one more reason why I appreciate the house system. Instead of punishing a student for bad behavior, you reward them at the house point if they have good behavior. This encourages kindness and encourages students to be a better person. The big TV and these new games are just a couple of reasons why I enjoy the house system and my house comfort.
My house is like a family. My house is made is official. We help each other and have fun. Together playing and learning. My house helps me make new friends. I learn to share and take turns. My house is kind, brave, and respectful because we are nice and we help. I'll always tell the new student about my house at school. We help everyone and together. My house is special because we are strong and kind. We make people happy. I'm proud to be one of the Lionhouse students. My house is my calling for Lucas Schools. I am writing this essay not for competition, but for fun. I love writing and I love my house, so I now mix them. I am Lucas. I love my house because it makes me feel like I belong. From the beginning, when the principal/vice principal were telling us what each house's meanings were, I immediately went with this. I love having responsibility, and I have sports too. And so when they were handing out those raffle tickets, I was praying for Officio. And when I scratched it open, I was overjoyed. I got Officio. I was so excited to see my fellow housemates, and here's the rest of the story. I was so excited, and later in the year, it got way better. The school was trying something new called Leadership Academy, and I really wanted to try to help out my school. So I applied, and I had an interview. There were so many people, so they had to pick a different team for ambassadors. I am currently an ambassador, so I didn't make it, but it's still as important. I'm so glad I am an ambassador, and this gives benefits. And the most important one is helping out for house time, which brings me to my next program. This paragraph is about house time. House time is an event for every month, and the winning house gets 20 points. Points are not just earned by a house time, but for good behavior and a monthly trait. And as I'm writing this right now, it is house time day, and a trait this month is responsibility. And that is my house's specialty. Every house time is different. Like in winter, we did a snowball/cotton ball event. It's a mystery every time, so we don't know. The reason for this is because if we knew, then we could prepare, and that would technically be cheating. We also have our house chant. Officium's chant is we are officium. We are responsible 2 times, and we stop and clap at the same time. And at the end, we roar because we are the lions. Every house has their own animal. The lions, the wolves, the owls, and the elephants. My house means me. It's like my core. Makes me feel like I'm part of something bigger than school. And the team competitions in our school make school way better and friendly life. And when a new student comes, it makes our community bigger and stronger. This house system teaches us teamwork, and we can all be one together, not just one house, all four becoming one big family. I love our house, and I want it to get an even better place, one step at a time. Students and teachers working together for a better community. My school is not like anyone else's because we, Pioneer Elementary, are unique. We all want to help each other become better. I love our house system because it brings us together.
I like being in the house because I like how we have little chants. I also like before we meet in the gym. I like how we do activities. I like how we meet in the gym and do our chant.
I also like to do the tic-tac-toe kindness game. I liked when we got to watch our houses stack marshmallows. I liked when our house won the cup. That's what I like about my house. My house is Constantia. We are great at perseverance and being brave. My favorite thing about my house is that there's so many of us. It makes me feel so at home. Not only that, it's so cool and fun to be in Constantia. Another thing is how fun it is to be in a house in the first place. Being in a house is so awesome because when I feel left out, I have my wolf pack to cheer me up. But also, house time is fun too because you get to see who wins every game. The most special thing about Constantia is that we are the blue house and everyone else has a different color than us. Our houses make the school a better place because it makes school a whole lot more fun than it would be without it, and people get to look forward to house time and having fun with their house. I learned teamwork by getting to come and work hard with each other every day. If there was a new student and I was in charge of explaining the school and I described house time, I would say where you would sit depending on what house you're in. If I was using 3 words to explain Constantia, I would say cool, fun, and amazing. My house means a lot to me because if I didn't have my wolf pack, I'd be very sad about it. Constantia is my house and I'm happy about that.
What Dignitas Means to Me by Evelyn May Taylor. Dignitas is a community, a way to have fun, to express yourself, and so much more. I know others think so too. It's a place to be loud, proud, and kind. In addition to that, people can be more social and make friends. Dignitas has a great chant as well as great people. For example, the teachers work so hard to make it fun, and the principals plan it. I love how responsible, trustworthy, and kind kids are. On top of that, it's important to remember all houses are amazing, but the best team is Dignitas.
I love the house system and everything about it. I love this house system so much, and I especially love my house, Dignitas. And being a part of Dignitas means so much to me. What it means to me is that everyone in Dignitas is so nice and caring, and the little kids are so sweet to their partners. And everyone is always having so much fun with joy and laughter. I enjoy this house system at Pioneer Elementary School. I enjoy this system because whenever we do our house times, I always feel like it's bringing our school closer and closer together, not just as a school, but as a family. It just feels so powerful. This house system makes me feel included by anyone, whether if you're the bad kid or the quiet kid. You always get accepted and included in every activity. That is how great our house system is. Throughout our house system, there is so much teamwork and leadership. For example, when we are doing our Minute to Win It challenges, I always see people from different houses using teamwork to work together. And the people who are sitting down always show leadership as they are cheering on their team. I love my house, Dignitas, so much that if I had to describe my house in 3 words, one of them would be cool. Because Dignitas is one of the coolest houses in the whole system, in my opinion. Another word for my house would definitely be caring, because whenever I am with my house, all I ever see is people caring for each other, and it just warms my heart. The last word would definitely be 100% kind. I love to see kindness on everyone's face and sharing kindness all around, and it's just so nice. Say if there were to be a new student, what would it be like to them? Well, if there is a new student, it doesn't matter what house they get, because I know that if there were to be a new student, everyone would be so nice to them, show them around, include them in everything they do, and so much more. There is so many reasons why I think Dignitas in every house is so great, and how it makes the school a better place. Well, it really makes the school a better place because it brings everyone together in a really good way. In the end, I hope they liked my writing. Sincerely, Stella.
All right. Well, for you, so if you guys want to sit down on the floor.
At Pioneer we proudly stand, together hand in hand. 4 houses strong, 1 family, will guide the future land. We are the trailblazers, bold and true. Imagine, believe, achieving all we do. With Concordia, Officium Dignitas too. Constantia spirit will carry us through. Concordia teaches us to share, cooperation everywhere. Officio calls us to be wise, with responsibility we rise. Dignitas shows us to respect our voices, join our hearts, connect. Constantia helps us persevere, with courage shining year by year. We are the trailblazers, bold and true. Imagine, believe, achieving all we do. Concordia, Officium Dignitas too. Constantia spirit will carry us through. We are the trailblazers, bold and true. Imagine, believe, achieving all we do. Concordia, Officium Dignitas too. Constantia spirit will carry us through. Constantia spirit will carry us through. Concordia, Concordia teaches us to share, cooperation everywhere. Officium calls us to be wise, with responsibility we rise. We rise. Dignitas shows us to respect our voices, join our hearts, connect. Constantia helps us persevere, with courage shining year by year. Constantia shining year by year. We are the trailblazers, bold and true. Imagine, believe, achieving all we do. Four houses united, one family strong. At Pioneer, we all belong.
Do you have any questions for our students? They'd be happy to answer them.
I have a question. Do you guys stay in the same house throughout your elementary school years?
Yeah.
Awesome. I see some future, well, already leaders, but I hope you continue that on for your middle school and high school and continue to get involved. Welcome and belong.
What is your house time? When, like, how often do you all meet?
Like once a month. Yeah,
Okay.
Every Friday, every month.
One Friday every month, and then is that a special room you, I mean, this is the whole school. This is K through six,
In the gym.
K through 5?
And we practice our chant in different spaces. We kind of like rotate every single time.
Okay, so you get together collectively and you don't meet outside that time? I mean, is that all that's necessary is to that one Friday a month? That you all get together and then you're doing an activity or
Yeah.
something like this, building?
Yeah.
All right.
How do you guys get points? Because you talked about a TV, right, that you really like and seeing the
So
lead.
like, how do you get how do you get points? Like, you like, if you like show leadership, use teamwork, if you be kind, like just like being like really nice and like being a leader is how you can get house points.
And then like teachers recognize you and staff recognize you.
You can also earn points in our minute to win it.
Is that the activity time?
Yes.
The games or something? Getting a woof of.
All the teachers have access to an app. And so when they're seeing students following the Big Five and just doing all of the things that we expect students to do, that they have access to all students and can go into the app and award points. And as soon as a student is awarded points, then on the leaderboard and the TV and the foyer, their picture will pop up and then the house points are on there.
So it's in the app of the students belonging to the different houses.
Yes.
So the teachers they don't have to know that. It's already
Right.
in the app. Cool.
Gosh. So
Is-
how is a new student select their house or house?
So basically we have these raffle tickets that we did in the beginning of the year. We're like scratch them open with like, anything that you can scratch them open. And then it would be, and then, actually, if we have time.
Is there anyone who has not scratched off to get their house.
I don't know which my house
So go ahead and give
I'm
them.
the blue. I'm the lion.
Wanna go give points for.
I don't know which lamp, it doesn't matter. Fate will determine.
I already have one. I'm the one.
Oh, I'm with, is the lion red? I'm the lion, Dr. Sweeting.
Okay.
Wanna go give her?
I wanna. I'm gonna take this back. I'm a first grader. I'm a first grade teacher and you're the most. You're awesome.
Yes.
I got the red. What are you?
I have my.
Oh, dang, I'm sorry, what? Who is it? Oh, Officia.
Okay, Grace.
Gosh, Officia.
Yes, that is
Oh, here it is.
The Alex.
Lucas, you talked about being an ambassador. What does an ambassador do?
Ambassador, it's like, it helps leadership. Like, they're kind of like something.
Like the dean and the principal.
Yeah.
You're like.
Which means they do.
Also.
So right before, halftime, so, the ambassadors and the leaders would go. It's special meeting.
From each house.
It all comes together.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
There's
And
more
then-
ambassadors than leadership though.
Okay, yeah. And then as people graduate on, then, well, then you have new people coming in, so.
Yeah.
We do it every year, like,
Yeah.
yeah, we take an interview, we take an interview every week. And only fourth and fifth graders can do leadership.
Okay, okay, so that's, yeah,
I have
that
a
makes sense.
question, and maybe it's for your principal. When did you come up with this idea? And then how did you make it happen?
So a parent a couple years ago came from Stevens Creek in Lake Stevens. And she sang the praises of the house system. And at first, it sounded like a lot. So I had to take some time to think about it. Then last spring, took a team of teachers to Stevens Creek. And we got to experience their house system and their house time. And we're completely sold on it. The reason why we decided to go with this was from our survey results from last year and the sense of belonging showing that we needed to increase that at Pioneer. And so after seeing the house system at Stevens Creek, in action, we thought, okay, this is what we need. And it has paid off with students and staff.
I think one of the things I like the best is the grade levels that you combine that. That's just amazing because for me, it feels like there's not division, but the kids get up to fourth and fifth grade and they don't really want to, there are not a lot of connecting with the kindergartners, first graders. And I love that idea because again, thinking of Harry Potter, I mean, you're just having that whole, that span of age and the mentorship. I mean, you guys are, yeah, that's just a great role and you take it so seriously, but yet there's that levity, there's that fun. It's awesome.
And when we do have house time, the younger students always partner up with the older students so that we can have that mentorship.
And my last question, who created that song? Because I'm gonna be singing it in my head.
Well, AI helped us with that song.
Oh, good old AI. There we go.
The words I had put in what we were looking for, and then another music AI program, Suno, helped with the music. And then as staff, we had 3 different versions and we decided which one we wanted to go with.
I like it. So the page is chatgpt.com.
And how much is on the staff to help implement this or run this? Is it yeah.
So we have time every Wednesday where we meet together voluntarily of anybody who wants to help organize it. And so we have a great team of teachers that help and they've bought in. So.
And once a month seems pretty doable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've got it down now for a system that it's not that much work, but it's worth it, no matter how much work it is.
Yeah.
And one last question. How involved is the PTA and the parents in this activity?
So PTA is very involved and going to be more so involved next year, looking at having a student store that students will be able to use the points that they earned to be able to purchase items at the store, whether it is small little trinket items or larger things like T-shirts or experiences with other adults. So they'll be able to use those points that they earn to benefit themselves.
Thank you.
Very cool. Well, it was a very wonderful presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, families, for supporting them. Siri, can we have a picture? I'm in the.
Students who want to stand in front of the board members, kind of
See you on there.
Stand with our house.
show off your bracelet. That's awesome.
I'm a red person, Dr. Taylor.
But I didn't bring my, okay, I didn't bring anything.
Our house is right here.
We're right here, we're right.
So you guys want to scoot in just a little bit? So red, move it there, perfect. Okay, good. Okay, perfect. Everyone look right here, please. Nice big smile, hold it.
Here we go. This isn't a gang sign, I promise. See ya. Thank you, Carrie.
Thanks for free.
Thank you, families.
Thank you, guys.
Have a great night.
Yeah, you too.
We can put it around the clock. They can stay if they would like. Or it's school night. They can go do the things. They can go read. Better leave.
To be young and get married, to be young again. Inspiration. I think we could do that, like, collectively group kids, I think that's.
Thank you for your patience while we do a little transition. Our next presentation or recognition is Teacher and Educator Appreciation Week. And this is an awesome presentation too, but doesn't have small children reading essays, does it? But we would like to start with Dr. Sweeting, and then Eric's going to come up, our Director of Human Resources, and have a video.
You can come up now. I'll just say a few words as you're coming up. So last week, officially, the statewide recognition for certificated staff, appreciation for certificated staff took place. So May 4th to the 8th, but we just want to do that all year long. But when I say certificated staff, I mean it involves a lot of different positions, classroom teachers and more. And there's on the slide, we'll have the listing and you'll be amazed at how many that is. There's just different focus that certificated staff bring. And we also, towards the latter part of the PowerPoint, we are going to honor the health services staff, because last week also was honoring our nurses and our health assistants. And all of these people, they're just incredible. They work really hard. They love the kids. They support our kids. And Eric's gonna give them a little bit of chocolate.
Chocolate bars.
We actually, in the slide show, it'll show that as a cabinet, we had these little packages that thanked each certificated staff member that were out in their box. It's just something little, but they also were recognized hopefully by their PTAs and other parent groups of how great they are. So go ahead, Eric, take it.
What? Our certificate staff are here. Come on up.
Yeah, come up.
Come on up.
I know you're here. Just come on up.
Yeah. This is the next surprise.
You came the right night.
Thank you.
So just introduce yourself and tell us
Yeah.
what your goal is, because I know we have several different goals.
Yeah.
Tell us who you are.
I'm April Lewis. I'm one of the developmental preschool teachers over at President's. I'm Rebecca Suday. I'm the life skills teacher at the high school.
I'm Rob Hollis. I'm a CTE teacher, robotics and engineering at the high school.
So you can see right here, we have three very different teaching roles in the district, certificated staff. So we have, counselors, a lot of preschool and special education and CTE, and we have a variety of others in the district as well. So thank you.
Thanks so much.
I think now there's.
Yeah, so on the slide here, we have 347 teachers and certificated professionals. And on the next slide, it actually, okay, so there's teachers and there's all different kinds of teachers, AOP, our Arlington Online art teacher, ASL, American Sign Language, athletic director, band teacher, case managers for our Open Doors program, categorical programs coordinator, chemistry teachers, choral teachers, computer tech teachers. See, there's more. Counselors, CTE, tech ed, education, engineering, and health science, district nurse, elementary arts specialist, ELL teacher, English language learner teacher, English teachers, just long list, family science teacher, health wellness teacher, history teacher, instrumental, JR, OTC, K-8 teacher, kindergarten teacher, lab, librarian. Oh, I see, there's even more.
I told you there's a lot.
When you look at this, on this page, it has like therapists too. We have math teacher, music, occupational therapist, PE health and fitness, PE education, physical therapist, psychologist, science teacher, social studies, special ed, speech and language pathologist, sports med teacher, STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, TIE teacher, Title I teacher, visual performing arts and world languages. And there we go. Okay.
Expecting more.
XYZ. They're probably in
I
alphabetical.
missed a few.
Yeah, so
There's a-
when
Wait
we
for-
say it takes all of us, like a village, it does. And together our certificated and our classified, and our non-rep, it takes us all together. So we appreciate each one. Thank you, thank you. There's a few pictures of some of our certificated staff across the district.
Anybody like a chocolate bar?
I'm good, thank
Oh,
you. My kids can check.
Absolutely.
The twisted are.
And there's a picture of what we sent out.
Thank you.
We gave, no, thank you. Chocolate and then little chapstick.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
They're awesome.
Thank you.
They're the bomb. And then, thanks, Eric.
You get one. You get one. Yeah.
Okay, so we appreciate all that they do and we hope they were spoiled last week. Were you spoiled?
Oh, it's great.
Okay. And then last week also officially kind of on that Wednesday was the School Nurse Appreciation Day. So and this is the list of all of our health services and individuals. And Krista Kramer is our district nurse. She coordinates between all of these people that do so much. And it's not an easy job. They can have, I know there was one day I was talking to one of the nurses and they had 67 visits to the health room. And that might only be the most that they've had in a day, but that's a lot of visits to the health room. So thanks to Krista and to Krista and Artika and Michaela and Nancy and Nora, Cecilia, Tanya, Pamela, Sarah, all of them for keeping us healthy and also taking care of our well-being. Thank you.
Yeah. It's a lovely tribute. I want to call out some of our nurses and educators on the board. Thank you for all that you do also. Next up is our public comment portion of our meeting. We have one person that has signed up in advance to speak. And I'm going to read a little script that explains what's going to happen, and then we'll go to that point. So the board recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of involving members of the public in its meetings. Anyone addressing the board tonight, whether it be in person or virtually, has agreed to follow the instructions for public comment and limit comments to 3 minutes. The board does not respond to questions during the business meeting in order to comply with the State of Washington's Open Public Meetings Act. The board's silence does not signal agreement or endorsement of the speaker's remarks. Depending on the nature of your topic or questions, The superintendent may ask staff to contact you to answer questions or provide information. The board president may interrupt or terminate an individual statement if it is uncivil or exceeds the allowed time. Each speaker will be given one opportunity to speak. All right, so we have Jeff Steele that's gonna come up to the podium, and then Brenda's gonna turn on the timer as soon as you start talking. There'll be a timer.
Okay.
Not to intimidate you, just to keep it on track.
That's okay. Yeah, my name's Jeff Steele. I was a student in this district and I have 3 kids now, a boy and 2 girls. 2 girls who are athletes. And so I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but I think it was within the last year, the WIAA has recognized girls flag football as an official school sport. And within our league, the Wesco League, Glacier Peak has a team, Lake Stevens has a team, Kamiak has a team, Jackson has a team, Cascade has a team. We don't. So I'm here advocating on behalf of my daughters who are 13 and 11, but also all the girls who are their age as well, and middle schoolers and high schoolers who love the sport. And I coached my daughter's flag football team last year through the Boys and Girls Club, and they're super passionate. They're really good. They listen way better than the boys do. And I would love to see it happen here because it's also for those girls, it's a wintertime sport for those girls who don't play basketball, maybe don't play volleyball. Just be a chance to be a part of a team and support their school. I think I heard right that we have a new athletic director. And I would encourage him to embrace this program and bring girls flag to Product Nice.
Thank you. We appreciate you coming and taking the time tonight. Is there anyone else who would like to give public comment online or in person? All right, moving on to our consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve our consent agenda as presented?
Make a motion to approve our consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
It's been moved by Director Watts and seconded by Director Kelly to approve the consent agenda as presented. Madam Clerk.
Director Diamond.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Watts.
Aye.
President Levesque.
Aye.
Director Knapp.
Yes. The consent agenda is approved. And that includes our calendar for next year, so get excited. Really excited. Next up is our new business portion of our meeting, and the first thing up is our Special Education Advisory Committee, our SEAC Annual School Board Report. We'd like to welcome up all of our very, very incredible leaders. Hard to follow the cute little kids, but
Yeah.
I know. I was gonna say, the fun portion of the meeting is right now.
so we have
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
we have
Super fun.
Brenda Wyman,
But you have a house? Okay.
Brenda Wyman, our Director of Special Education, PK to 8, and then we have Carrie Helgeson, our Director of Special Education, 9 to 12 plus, and student support.
Yep.
Would you like to introduce?
Yeah, and we have 2 of our SEAC members with us, April Lewis. She was already up here once and her second time. And Jen Edwards, she's a parent in our district.
Okay, we're gonna start with sharing some information about what our SEAC committee has done this year. Just a little background, our SEAC, we established our SEAC committee here in Arlington last year. And we met quarterly, and the purpose of it was to bring community, staff, and students together to learn and collaborate in order to improve our special education here in Arlington. This year, you can see the membership. We had 25 members who attended throughout the year. 40% of them were parents, our community, so 12% students and 48% staff. We kind of have a limit of 30 members just to keep it a group that can work really well together and function and have the opportunity to hear voices. And completing our second year, we met 5 times this year and plan to meet 6 times next year. And this was our first year that we brought students on. So and Alex was a part of it. So we really appreciated her membership.
You can join in on the presentation. All right, so last spring, we decided to send out a survey to get some ideas as far as what could be our goals for the year. So we could plan over the summer. And there were a number of them, as you can imagine. And so at the first meeting, we just spent some time sharing out what was shared on the surveys, and then asked the group, was there anything else that you wanted to add to the list? And I think by the time we got done with the list, there were probably about 20, 25, 30 topics, which is way too much to cover in a year. So we narrowed it down. We gave each person that was at the meeting 3 stickers, and they were to go around and what are their top 3 topics that they wanted to talk about or to focus on for the year, because we really wanted to create many work groups. And so have a product come out of our work together. And so from that came the idea of transitions. So what does it look like for transitions for our students to go from preschool to elementary school, 5th grade to middle, and all the way through to the transitions? What does that look like for our families? Because that's also a big deal and a big transition for our families to go through the system, and what to expect and what to not expect and what to look for and all the things. And then also for our staff. And so when we're sharing our staff between our system, what could those transitions look like? So then we broke into small work groups. And so members of the committee decided, do they want to be part of the families or students or staff? And then they work together every meeting to come up with what do we want this year? Because we can't do, there were a lot of things we wanted to do, but we had to narrow it down. And so then you can see there that the transitions for the families, some of this, we did start a pamphlet, and then we're talking about visitations, some sensory friendly events for the students and the families to go to start out the year. The parent information nights was a lot. We talked about it, but that's one of our goals for next year, is to have our own little mini resource fair here. And then transitions for students, having that all about me sheet, but their student voice, get their voice in there. What do I want next year's teacher to know about me as a person and how I learn? And then visitations to next school year, which we've already set up quite a few. We have our elementary 5th graders are going starting tomorrow. They're spending a couple of hours at the middle school life skills. And then the next week they're going to go for a half a day. And then the following week, they're going to go for a full day. We have some of our middle school SLE students are going up to the high school. And then I'm taking 4 of our current Arlington High School life skills students that are going to transitions. I'm taking them sometime in May, I can't remember, but we're going to go visit one of the job sites, Perfect Pals, and we're going to spend a couple of hours there with the current transition students, and then we're going to go back to the high school, and I think we're going to be listening to Erica Knapp with the art. And so they're going to spend a whole day as far as what this transitions look like for them, because they don't really know, and there's all different thoughts out there. Yeah.
Or can you just, because my mind was on something a little different. So when you say transitions focus, what is that? Is that the
transitioning from one level to the next?
And these are special ed students?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Special ed students who are transitioning from a different grade.
Preschool to elementary school, a different level.
The bigger league.
Yes.
Okay.
Big jumps. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And so your conversation was how can we make that better?
Smoother transition to a new building.
Okay.
There to new program.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And then Jen is going to talk about the transitions for families.
So I joined this group because it's very close and near and dear to my heart. I have a senior who's graduating soon, very excited. So we worked hard on kind of figuring out what the different programs are throughout the district. And then did you bring we created a rough draft of a pamphlet that would have like a little blurb about each program that then the families can take so they can understand a little bit. And all the acronyms are very confusing. And they change. So something.
And then they change back.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I still don't know what my program, my son did. That's okay. Okay. And then our next thought was like hosting a family resource night where we could have different programs, like Erica, what you work for. We can have therapy clinics, we can have even medical clinics, but then also just resources that the school can offer as well that parents can go to and have access to.
Love it. Very much needed.
Yes.
All right, so the group with transitions for students really focused a lot on like when you go to middle school or high school, you have the big days where you go pictures and everyone's seeing their schedules and all those things, and it's just really overwhelming for everyone. So that idea of having some sensory friendly times for these back to school events, Howler actually implemented this last year where they opened up for students who needed to have a calmer start for a half hour before everybody else could come. So that they could feel a really positive start to the beginning of their school experience there. This team also suggested an all about me sheet that the student fills out for their next team to understand like what are their strengths, what might be some barriers, and how to like help them work through like emotions or things like that. And also, again, visitations to the next school. You'll see that there's some themes that were really consistent for each group. Next steps, we need to get more student voice on the committee for who the committee serves. We had some great students on there. We want more students. We want some students who are actually in our programs and experiencing it.
Which like we have a couple that are going to join us next year that interviewed just last week with us.
Really great. Also students visiting the next year classroom in the spring, which again, that even just by these conversations happening throughout this year, those things are already starting to happen. We have teams connecting, teachers going with students and parents to the school, the classroom. So it's really positive. Another thing that kind of came up as we were doing this planning is Jen made a great suggestion of like exit interviews to get students' voices of as they're leaving our system. And we implemented it already by sending a survey to high school seniors and starting to get input there so we can look at how can we refine.
We have
their
21
experience.
responses so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty exciting.
So I was in the group for transitions for staff, and we started by creating a survey to give to the teachers, kind of like, what would you like to know when you receive a student? What would be helpful for you? You get this big IEP and it has all these things, but sometimes the things that you really wanted to know about a student that could be helpful for the next year isn't in there. You know, I think about my preschoolers and there's things on their IEP that I give to the kindergarten teachers where I'm like, this is where they struggle with transitions, and these are maybe some songs that are soothing for them and all those kind of tools that are helpful. We piloted this one pager, mine became sometimes two, but it's a student support form. So I've created it for all of my preschoolers that are going to kindergarten. And I put a picture of them, what school they're going to, because at preschool, they're going to be funneling into all four of the elementary schools. We talk about the qualifying areas. And then there's just kind of a list of like their needs, their toileting needs, transition needs, busing, how that looks for them. And then some potential things that they could work on. I've also included links to all the visuals that I work with those preschoolers to pass on to those kindergarten teachers. They don't have to like recreate that. And that student is familiar with those visuals. So going into a new school, there's something that looks pretty similar. So hopefully make that transition a little bit smoother. Obviously, we'll work this out and kind of tweak it as we work together next year for elementary to middle school to high school. Yeah, so we're going to try that out this year. All the preschool teachers have done it, and we're hoping to be able to share that with the rest of the special education teachers as well. Next steps, we want to be more intentional around new students, including how can we bring the paras in at the beginning of the school year, because they work really closely with a lot of the students, and I think that it's important for them to know who they are receiving and what they're all about. So yeah.
Another piece that just kind of came out of this conversation that Brenda and I just planned for a couple weeks ago was that a couple of the pairs from preschool are going to go to kindergarten with the students to be able to be that familiar face for them in their first couple of weeks there. So cool.
This is emotional. I didn't realize this is gonna be so emotional. So great, so amazing. What about bus drivers? Would you add them to the group?
Yeah, so when I did send these support forms over to the other schools, I sent it to school psych and then the special education teacher, but I made sure to let them know that anyone working with the student, SLPs, OTs, PTs,
bring it to them as well, because there is a lot of really good information and like I said, links that it's like makes it a little bit easier.
And then I want Sue Day, to just share what she created for the bus drivers this winter for all of her students, especially because a lot of them are nonverbal. Do you want to share, just stand up and share right there?
So for each of my drivers, I made them a little keychain. I had a picture of all of my kiddos that rode their bus. And then on it was like contact information for parents. I stated on there whether or not somebody had to be there for drop off or whether they could go into the house by themselves. And then also gave a quick little rundown of medical history. Like if they have seizures, just be aware of that. If they have medicine in their backpack, like rescue meds. And then also kind of said if they're nonverbal and different ways to like de-escalate if they were starting to get. So each driver now has a card on each of their buses to share with subs.
Great. And then she shared that with some of our other
we
programs
received
and they've also done the same thing, so. All right, then like I said, through all of our conversations and our meetings, there are just some general recommendations that we're gonna keep thinking about and keep working at. So receiving teachers visit students in their current setting, and like I said, because of this conversation, we're implementing that now out in our buildings. I even had a SLE teacher from KP go visit the middle school to kind of see like, what does that setting look like? And then be able to team with the teacher around like, okay, this is what we have. And then the middle school teacher went to KP to see the students in that environment. So trying to really do some intentional teaming of what does each individual student need and what might we need to prepare in this new setting prior to them arriving. A big conversation in our last meeting was that we want these transitions to be a celebration, right? A celebration of learning and of moving on to the next level. So we threw out a few fun ideas like ice cream social, things that we can think about more so for next year. Separate open house, fly-in Eagle Day. We kind of talked about this, but also like for fly-in and Eagle Day when their students are going, some students, then making sure it's individualized. That just because you're in a program doesn't mean you don't partake. If you want to be with the big group moving around the school and that feels good, you can do that. But if you need a smaller setting, we can provide that as well. Visit a new setting for family and students prior to the start of school. Sometimes we hit that first week of school and things have exploded because we didn't know what we didn't know. But in that too, it was really brought up that if we could think about having meetings about a month in with the parents, the team to say, okay, what's going well? What do we need to adjust as we learn the things that we don't know? Family resource night, and then quarterly events for families that are sensory friendly.
So we talked about, all the family fun nights that happen at the elementary school. So let's start having some of those that are more sensory friendly for students that can't enjoy those events, but having something for them as well.
Was me? No. We sent a survey to the SEAC committee, giving any feedback for just how the year went and maybe some things moving forward. And so these were some of the comments, and I could read them piece by piece, but I think that we'll take this information obviously as a team and help improve what we're doing and hopefully continue to tackle some of those goals that we have.
One of the things that, that's the next step.
Okay. So next year we want to meet 6 times. Last year we only met a few, and then we met one more time, and then we want to add another time next year. And continue to work on the work that we have been doing with these groups. Like some of the groups we started with a small, like, okay, let's just have the senior exit interviews, right? Whereas next year it might look bigger, right? We kind of want to master it before we go district-wide. Maybe bring in some guest speakers for our meetings to help us understand even more about like the transition program and things like that. We want more student voices. So it sounds like the ladies have already gotten some students, which is totally awesome. And then parent information night, so parents can really understand what special education is. And some parents really don't know. They just kind of go every year to the IEP meeting and just sign it.
Any questions?
So how common is this, what you're doing in other school districts?
I'm not really sure how many local districts have it. I'd have to kind of look into that. There is a statewide SEAC committee, which is kind of what we modeled our charter after.
I
Marysville
just,
has one, but it's nothing like this.
who has one? Who has one?
Marysville.
Marysville has one, nothing like this, not to this level of proficiency.
Sure.
Okay, okay, I'll put it on you. No, I think that's great. I know with our connection with Lakewood being almost a half the size of Arlington School District, I'm just looking at some of the resource, what you're all doing. Thinking of that, like sharing that information out. Scale is obviously important because what you're doing, you have the people, the bodies, that, you know, that sort of thing. As you get to smaller districts, that might be harder, but maybe Dr. Sweeney could even just share some of the success. I like the idea that you had smaller groups. That obviously was a good change this year. Obviously very critical. I mean, I work in a building where we have the CSP program, and I have two of the boys that come in my room in the morning and then late in the afternoon. So that integration is great, but you know, I really like that the conversation is there and that we're having more, I don't know, just voice. I mean, you can't not, I mean, it's amazing that we're at this place now, but I love that it's available, and I will continue to hear your progress and what's really working. So glad to see you're all, it's such a team. I mean, you have such a range of people, and the fact that the kids are participating, that's great.
Yeah. Do you do exit interviews with like the parents or families?
It's great to do.
That is a great
You know,
idea.
with that exit interview came out of us for a meeting to plan this presentation a couple of weeks ago, and we're like, oh, that's a great idea. So create a form, sent it out to the case managers, but that's a great next step as far as what was needed on the parents' end.
Yeah. And then how do you inform the parents of what you guys are working on for those that aren't involved in the committee? So they know that this is being addressed and constantly improved.
One thing that we did start, not necessarily from, well, it did come out of this committee as far as transitions and families not knowing like what comes next and what does transitions and what is DVR and what's guardianship and what's DDA and blah, all the things, right? So one thing that I stole from Madison Taylor is she had created a folder with all of these resources and information in them. And then I've given them to the high school case managers to start sharing with families earlier than when they become 18. So that awareness is earlier. So we're not directly, this committee, sending out that information, but information that comes out of this committee, then we're able to share with case managers and other families and students. But it's a good thing for us to be thinking about is how can we get this message out? One, that we could grow the committee and. So.
Well, the brochures will help too.
Yeah.
For the parents to get that information.
And when you do the transition visits with the teacher and the student, can the parents family go with?
Yeah.
To see the interaction.
They need to. Like, I had to advocate for my son. Like he'd walk and he's like, I don't know what I need. I'm just showing it. Right. So I had to advocate for him to say, this is what he needs.
Yeah, more often than not, the parents go like with preschool parents to go do visits and things like that. So.
On that anxiety.
I was just thinking
Well,
too.
it just feels that first set of team, right? You know, it's like.
I'm wondering if you have this like during an IEP meeting with some of the kiddos, you know, maybe it's like, this is a committee and these are, you know, it's those little things we hand out to, you know. The more you know, right? The more you know.
I think I saw a question somewhere. Erica, did you have a question?
I was gonna say
Comment?
something though, but yeah, I just, this is incredibly impactful. I want to know that this committee is like reshaping, it's not like it is reshaping this community and the outcomes for students. Coming from a parent myself, like preschool parent, had no idea like what kindergarten was gonna be, and that transition was, I was not as well prepared. And I loved the All About Me sheet, like providing tools for people and being like, you know, it's truly a partnership with families, and I'm so grateful. And the intentional design and that you all are doing, like, thank you for being part of it. So, yeah. I was gonna say, if you want housing information too.
Oh, yeah.
On your list.
Yeah, it's really great.
But yeah. So, thank you very much.
I want to say how amazing this is that you have put so much work into this and what a difference you're going to make in the lives of kids. And I want to publicly recognize Erica Knapp for her idea to get this committee started and the the care that you've put into making these things happen for our kids. I know it'll benefit them. So thank you. Then we have a special education annual update.
That's what. Do you want to share that free or I can share it? It's up to you. Make your choice.
I can hang out.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, talk about. It's me again. The building unit, she did.
Oh, yeah.
We'd like to welcome back our Brenda Wyman, our Director of Special Education, and Carrie Huxton, our Director of Special Education and support staff.
So April Lewis, I'm here with Deb Free, I know it, and Rebecca Suday, life skills at the Arlington High School. Before we get started, I want Rebecca to share her sweatshirt and what it's all about.
Okay, so we have a saying in my classroom, my possibilities are limitless. And it came from a couple years ago, the admin team, they put like signs on each of our staff's doors and it was like, you're the superhero, but like, what's your kryptonite? And my kryptonite was barriers for my students at the high school. And so we made our sweatshirts this year. And then on the back, I don't know if you can see it, it has our little saying. And then I reached out to all 26 of my parents, because I have 26 students this year. And they each gave me one word to describe all of my students. And that's what's on the back of our sweater. So I have kids going around today because we just got these in and they were all walking around saying, my possibilities are limitless. So that was really cool today.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, so tonight we wanted to bring you, are you gonna click an update? We want to talk a little bit about students with disabilities and where they are served. We have some qualifying areas. I think that's going to be new information possibly that just to kind of, I'm all about data and whenever I see data, I'm like, well, what about this? What about this? And so then it just kind of builds. And so I was always kind of curious as far as where, not only where our students are served, but what is their qualifying area? And then what are our specialized programs? And then we want to share highlights because we're all about the good news and about our programs and happenings that are out there and about our students. So here is some past data from 21-22. So that's the year coming right out of COVID. This is kindergarten through our transitions program. You know, they go till they're 22 now, which is great. In the last couple of years, I think Madison Taylor had like 4 or 5 different graduations throughout the year because they had to graduate when they at their 22nd birthday. So now they actually get to finish the school year. So you can see one thing that Brenda and I are pretty proud of here is that we have fewer students that are being served in special education, and it has to do with all of our MTSS work, you know, throughout the district with our gen ed teachers, our principals, as far as what does that process look like? Let's slow the roll. That just because they're struggling now, that doesn't mean that they should be referred for an IEP. What can we do in the process to figure out exactly where they're at and what intervention may help them before we go to this route? And then Dev Pre also has fewer students, which is kind of surprising, I think. That's just where they're at right now. So 13 fewer students than where we were last year at this time.
Yes.
So here are our students that are served in special education at some point this year. And you can see I put a little key down at the bottom as far as what does the qualifying area look like. That autistic diagnosis is just going to grow. What was it when we went, Brenda and I were at the ESD for the regional special ed directors conference that they have once a month, and nationwide, like 10 years ago, about 40 students were diagnosed with autism, and now it's up to about 40,000 or something like that. So it's growing and expanding and blowing up. So we can expect that number to rise as well. Kind of gives you an idea of how many of our students are just communication. You know, that when we say, you know, we have this many students in special education, well, how many of those are just speech or other health impairments or visual?
Good. Okay, so in special education, we offer services with a continuum of services. And continuum of services means that we always start in the gen ed classroom in the home school. And then we move from there, possibly resource, where they might just have a little bit of time either pull out or push in services. There might be just speech and language. We have occupational therapy, physical therapy, and also our special programs. So then with our special program numbers, we've looked at this in the past years as well, but this is where our current breakdown is. We have four elementary SLE programs, 2 at President's, 2 at Kent Prairie, both sitting right around 19 students within the between the 2 classrooms. Post middle school has 17 in 1 classroom this year, and Arlington High School is at 23. Life skills programs, you can see those numbers, the elementary, Keller Middle School, and then like Susan Day said, she has 26 students at the high school that she's serving. Our behavior programs, again, Eagle Creek, there's a elementary and a secondary class, and then post middle school and the high school. Weston is where our transitions program is, and then you're currently at 58 students in developmental preschool, but we're always evaluating students and bringing some in. So that number continually rises.
And that's how many teachers?
3 teachers. Yeah. As a part of the continuum of services, when we've exhausted our resources in district, we sometimes look out of district into MPAs. And so here accounts for the different MPAs that we are currently contracting with and the amount of students at each of those places. And we work really closely with these places with the IEP goals, monthly progress reports, conversations and meetings with the families to make sure services are meeting the needs of the students.
And one of the students from Overlake, we're constantly trying to also get them re-engaged back into our school system. So next year, we're looking at one of those students that's been at Overlake for about 1.5 years to take an art class at the high school so that we can slowly try to bring her back into the high school where she feels comfortable, but it's been slow.
Are the students all here in Arlington when I see Idaho on there or something? Are they?
There are current Arlington students that live here, but we contract out with some special schools.
So we do have 2 schools on this list that are out of state, and that comes because if the level of need is for residential placement, Washington State doesn't have residential.
So they are residing over there.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Nice. And we work with OSPI. OSPI has a approved list of sites, and we're kind of
okay.
Okay, and then we want to share some highlights.
Yeah, so there's 3 of us teachers, and one of the things we did as a group this year in our PLC is we talked about how can we integrate a couple of kids from each of our classrooms and start bringing them into groups. Not only does that show them some movement instead of just being in their space, it also gets them to start integrating with other students as they move on to kindergarten. So we only picked kids that were ready and are ready to move on to kindergarten. We started a handwriting without tears unit with them. So on Mondays and Thursdays, I take a couple of students from each of the classrooms. I bring them into a small space in my room and we work through the unit. We created a goal as a PLC team around handwriting. So that's something we're being evaluated on, and we're trying to work on writing their name, one of the small steps. But in that, we do a lot of fun activities, how to hold the pencils, how to listen to music and follow along with tracing and things like that, and coloring. So kind of just the basic cognitive skills that we want them to start developing before going to kindergarten. One of the teachers did kind of a building unit, as you can see, kind of made it creative and fun using what they got. And the kids really liked that, more hands-on activity with that. I know she did a lot of like numeric things with it as well. And then one thing I personally did in my classroom is the picture with the kids, right there, that one, up in the class, at front of the classrooms. I know that all of our classrooms kind of establish jobs. So each week the jobs changes, and one of my jobs was an alphabet leader. I teamed with the kindergarten teachers in my building about one kind of unit that they use. So I chose Zoophonics because we obviously sing the alphabet, and I felt like that'd be easy to transition over to what the kindergarten teachers do. So we started the Zoophonics lesson with preschoolers, and our alphabet leader gets to kind of go through the alphabet, sounds, the letters, and an animal that starts with that letter. So yeah, lots of teaming this year.
It's like some fine motor skills too.
Yes, yeah, motor skills, that and the pencils, the crayons, things. Yeah.
All right, for our SLE programs, we have, like I said, 2 classrooms at President's. Madeline Bajork is one teacher and Jessica Dyer is the other. And then at KP, we have Reggie Smithson, Paul Felcher. Middle school is Bridget Drymiller and AHS is Amy Williams. And Paul and Reggie shared some highlights from KP that I'm going to read to you. Paul said, we've had a great year with our Friday cooking class. You'll see a few pictures of the cooking. Our students have had the opportunity to learn how to make pizzas, waffles, French toast, Lucky Charm pudding cups, quesadillas, and many other things. This has shown to be a great time for our students to build their communication skills and work as a team to create something delicious. All of our students have fully participated in the school assemblies, recesses, lunch, and specialists, and around 75% of them have been actively participating with their general education peers during academics. SLE students have formed great relationships with peers and for the first time are being invited to peer birthday parties.
That makes me.
Me cry. I'm gonna try and get through these without. And then Reggie also shared, everyone has made, and Reggie's the K2 teacher this year. She said, everyone has made incredible growth this year. We had multiple students that are pushing into general education and some students being able to do some specialists on their own. We have a solid routine schedule that almost everyone follows. I think our biggest success this year has been being able to run stations where students are able to rotate between speech, OT, and individual work within the SLE classroom. Some other highlights are that most students are able to attend a visual schedule that is longer than first then. So we usually start with like first then, but now they're following like multiple steps. And all students are able to attend all of the field trips throughout the year. The first graders were able to join the upper program with Paul to do some cooking on Fridays. And we are very proud of our kiddos this year. They have all made huge growth from the beginning of the year.
Then we have life skills. So elementary at Pioneers, Christy Britton and Jamie Cram at Inner. And then Rebecca Suday is here to share some highlights of her students.
Thanks. Okay, there was too many to choose from. But as you kind of see the pictures going, our focus in our classroom this year was communication and being able to present in front of groups and just kind of stepping outside of our comfort zone. So me being here is me stepping outside my comfort zone. But, so we just did different things throughout the year to help the kids build on those skills. So Jordan, in one of the pictures, he's been in ASL for the last 3 years. He is nonverbal. So him being in that class has really benefited him.
That's Jordan right there.
Yeah. And so him and Jada, they go to Miss Russ Matters DECA class, marketing class every day. And she stops her whole class, which is really cool. And they all interact with Jordan and Jada. So Jordan is learning how to write complete sentences on his AAC device, coming up with his own thoughts. And then him and Jada practice signing whatever they want to share with the class. They go sign to the class. They teach the class how to sign their sentences. And so they can communicate back and forth with Jordan and Jada. And that lasts between 5 or 10 minutes every single day, to the point where they have such a great relationship. They all did Valentine's for Jada and Jordan. They came into my class for our chicken unit. So we had like, her whole class was like probably 30 in my small kitchen, as Jada took my baby chick around and showed the whole class. So there she was presenting in front of entire class. And then we also have Cody and Maddie up there. They presented their photography, pictures, and assignments in front of their whole class. We've done many different science experiments. You can also see Christina, who's on there. She got to go down to Pioneer with her child development class, which was a barrier that we had to break through and make possible because she was in a wheelchair. So while everyone else is walking, even though she's in a wheelchair, we were able to have her go down there. And then transportation was very generous and they picked her up on the way back to bring her back because of her chair. And then we also had Stage and Grace go to grocery outlet and the dollar store with the transition program once a week. So they got to meet up with them to help that transition as they go into transitions next year. And what else is there? Yeah, I could go on, but I think that's pretty much it. Which one?
Your students participating in the career fair.
Oh,
This picture on the board, you know,
yeah. So the trades career fair at the high school is a big hit for my kiddos. They have all the different, CTE people come. There's the police, there's the fire department, all the construction, all those things. So we make it a competition. How many pens can we collect as a class? So their pockets are full of pens. But then they also go out and they work on those social skills and those communication skills. And probably takes us about 3 hours to go around, but the questions that they're asking, the interactions that they're having with the different people are just amazing to see them have that communication and interaction, those skills that they've been working on all year.
And then, oh, you too.
Oh, it didn't come up. Sorry, I have pictures that I had this afternoon. And that's okay. So our ED programs, elementary, Jacqueline Cobrea and Chris Antelek, and then at the middle school, Rebecca Connor, and at Arlington High School, Natalie Burkham. And Jackie and Chris share some highlights from Eagle Creek today. And they also do Food Fridays, so that is the thing to do.
Only visits on Fridays.
On Fridays.
I'm gonna remember this. No.
Then also at Eagle Creek, as part of their PBS, they can earn Eagle tickets. And they're really excited because both classes have received over 1,000 Eagle tickets each based on positive behavior. So pretty impressive. 4 students are out in general education full time. 10 more students are in general ed for a portion of their day. So that was pretty exciting to see that happening. Also, Chris shared that he's had an increase in his reading scores, which is correlated with the positive behavior and skills that students are now accessing their education a little more, and their reading skills are increasing. He also had a couple students, Eagle Creek did a spelling bee, I think for the first time in a long time this year. And he had a couple students who participated in that school-wide spelling bee. They've all gone on field trips also, and all of the 5th graders went to 5th grade camp and were successful. So that's great. Jackie shared that her classroom, last year they had 3 boxes in the community garden. They did walking field trips over to taking care of 3 boxes. And this year they've expanded to have 2 on-site at Eagle Creek so they could see more of the process happening. So really positive things happening in all of our programs.
All right, then transitions, we have the teacher Madison Taylor, and then I love that she calls her parents her job coaches because they're the ones that go out to the work sites with the students. So Christelle, Aubrey, Jasmine, and Wesley. So she does a really good job differentiating between what is the goal of the students being at transitions so that she can modify and find good job placements for them to refine their skills. One thing she added this year was teaching a small group of students to take the public transportation because they've always taken the vans or, the Suburbans or something to drive there. But they've been working on some of these students being able to navigate that public transportation because that's what they're going to need to do. And we have one student now that actually takes the transportation all by himself to his work site and then back. So she shared also a few highlights. Students regularly ride public transportation to meaningful community locations, including job sites and places they help choose, building independence and real world navigation skills. Students rotate through a variety of job sites to gain a well-rounded set of experiences that prepare them to pursue employment aligned with their interests after graduation. Students practice adult life skills by making meals they can replicate at home and are given mock paychecks to practice budgeting, saving and managing basic banking skills. I don't know if you've ever been to the transitions when it's their work day and they get to cash in their paycheck and go shopping back in that back room. It's pretty exciting. And then they do their spring and winter fundraisers. You can see that's one right there that provides them authentic opportunities for students to connect out there with the community while practicing customer service and money skills as well. So that's her highlight she wanted to share.
Some other things of what's happened in special education this year. So we've continued our partnership with AEA when we created a special education committee last year, and we've continued that work this year, really focusing around inclusionary practices and identifying some best practices. What are some barriers, and how are we going to work together to overcome those barriers? Looking at professional development, things like that. It's a really positive group of people coming together for our students. As we've already given you the update on our second year with SEAC. And then also self-advocacy has been a big thing that I've been observing out in our buildings, especially an example I'd like to share is Post Middle School. Their special education team came together for their PLC and had a goal focused around helping students understand their accommodations. So most students have these accommodations and they don't even know that they have them. how to ask for them, what to ask for, you know. And so having them have their accommodation sheets with them in their binder, identify, oh, this is one, and then really starting to identify which ones really work for me and which ones do I not really access or need. And then how to advocate for those if they're in and needing them. So it's pretty empowering.
Then what's in the works for next year? So I've talked a little bit about the transition house during the DIP presentation, so I won't go into details with that, but that is coming to fruition. It's pretty exciting. Arlington High School SLE program. So Amy Williams was there. This was her first year there, and we're looking at extending that to be replicate what happens in elementary and middle school, and then into high school, so that the students have that continuity of services. Because what's happened in the past is they've all gone into Sue life skills class. So now that they're going to have, and then her and Amy can really collaborate with students and share students across. We'll all have this science group, we'll all have this math group. This group of students going to go out into Spanish, and so really sharing students and giving them a well-rounded high school experience. We've just started working with our district leadership team on the technical assistance papers for SLDPD, because that is something that's coming up in 2028. So we went over the TAP 1 as far as what does that look like for a full MTSS system. So what is that tier 1 intervention piece? What happens in gen ed classrooms, what interventions, and then tier 2 and tier 3. So that'll be learning that happens all through next year to get all of our school staff ready to go for that. And then
what's SLDPD?
Yeah.
Civic learning, disability, professional development.
Figured professional development, but I didn't want to assume.
There you go. OSP, Office of State Public.
So specific learning disability, it has been where a student can get qualified for specific learning disability upon a discrepancy model, like discrepancy from like their cognitive to where they're performing. But in that, there's a lot of things that we need to rule out or take into account. And that's where it's saying we have to really look at MTSS, like, did they have adequate instruction? Did they get intervention? How did they respond to the intervention?
Looking at the data.
Looking at all that data.
So it's big. It's going to be a big undertaking for next year. But the other thing that we're looking at providing a lot of our self-contained programs, because we haven't had that consistency of curriculum going through there and for our staff, but also for our students. So we've purchased these protocols that we're sharing with like our life skills programs. And then, I mean, there's a bunch of them: basic living skills, community participation. And so our preschool program will start this, and there's like these protocols. And so this will go with the student. This is what they were doing here, and this is their next goal in this area. So that's going to be really beneficial as another smooth transition for the students that they've already worked on this and nearly mastered it. And this is my next piece of learning. And so there's 8 different booklets within these protocols. The other thing that we're in the works of looking at purchasing is the skills streaming the adolescent. So this is for our EBD classes, our SLE classes. So it gives some real concrete lesson plans and skills for the teachers to be working on with those students. And then homework skills for them to go out into the community and practice those skills that were taught. So these will be in all of the classrooms as well. So that's pretty exciting for them to have something that's consistent across our programs. Right response, we're moving from CPI to right response. That's already started happening and will continue. And then in August, we're bringing all of our case managers together on one of the district days. And we've invited Michelle Roper, the Northwest ESD 189 special ed director, to come in and give a full IEP refresher for all of our case managers, so that we can start having consistency across our system as far as what's in IEPs and what to look for. So.
Matt, any questions? You answered all of them as impressive. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was a lot. Okay. Next up, Brenda, don't go anywhere. is our policy 3246, restraint, isolation, and other uses of reasonable force annual report.
Okay, yes, so with isolation and restraint, we do an annual report. In November, we run a report for the state. So kind of in November, you're getting like last year's data, and that, so for the report for today, I thought we would look at some trends over time. So here are our numbers from 2021 through the report that we did in November. The number of isolations district-wide. And then it's broken down with the total number of students. Students had 4 or less, students who had 5 to 9 throughout the year, and then students with 10 or more.
You know, what's the big jump from last year then?
Well, as we dug into this a little bit, because we had big discrepancies, so when OSPI sees that, they reach out, and when we dug into it, it was actually kind of in our reporting. So we have a form that has multiple lines on it, and each line is an incident. So like if it starts and there's like 3 minutes of an isolation, but then as soon as the student is no longer in imminent, not danger to themselves or others, you stop the isolation. But then if they escalate again, you need to do it again. That's the second incident. That year we found it had been reported as just like if it was on the sheet as one incident.
So it wasn't as truly low as, because it looks outstanding that one.
Yeah.
Half of everyone else, yeah.
But then you also see, it also depends year to year on students, like new students. Last year, we had a couple new students who came into our district who came in with some high needs and high dysregulation.
Okay.
And so that is also sometimes student dependent, and even sometimes students who are doing great and something's going on for them and they have a stretch of time where it's harder, yeah.
Also, some of these numbers, aren't they reported from the NPAs as well, not just district-wide?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? I did pull where we are currently. This year, we're at 470 with 38 students about, so it's pretty consistent in looking at like last year. So in our 24-25 report, breaking it down, 37 of the 47 students were in elementary, 10 were in secondary. And I really attribute this to like, we're working on those skills and those strategies for students and teaching them like when they're starting to feel these things in their body that they take a self like reset time, self break. And so I think that's evident in our data that as students are aging up in our system, there's less often the level of dysregulation that would require isolation or restraint. And these are things that we're doing proactively. Our school teams, they implement positive behavior supports. We have BCBA who teams with the teams on like looking at FBAs, what is the function of the behavior, then what are the plans in order to get ahead of it, like what do we need to do in the environment to decrease the likelihood of dysregulation. Lots of work with our OT team on sensory friendly environments to help support students. And like I said, teaching the students the strategies and tools for regulation.
And to clarify for me again, the students that were recording data, is this whole population or special? Okay.
It is. So there is a whole population. I kind of monitor students who are in special education who have IEPs. Anytime there is an incident, it gets sent to our office.
I mean, that's still part of this data, correct?
Yeah, but there are some students who are in general education population who might have incidences.
That's what I was going to wonder.
That's really rare. And the use of isolation and restraint really truly for imminent danger to self or others is how the language plays. And then this year in legislature, they passed a little bit, they've been working on a bill, and it's more just really putting for the state, for districts to really do some professional learning on what can be done prior in the advance to decrease the likelihood of
escalating to that point.
Yeah. And our teams, they really, they do really focus on the imminent danger aspect of it. And then an important piece of debriefing after the incident, like what led to that? What can we do differently? How are we,
really like examining what may have led and then prevent. Makes sense.
And a lot of really supportive and calm co-regulating as the events are happening. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay.
Thank you.
You're like, right. It's like, I'm done, probably.
Thank
you.
You're welcome to have a seat now. Next up is our key calendar dates for 27, 28. Isn't it weird to think about that far in advance, but.
Oh, so that's 2 years.
Yeah, we'd like to welcome up Eric DeYoung, our Executive Director of Human Resources. And this is a student advisory vote.
Great. So our calendar is up here for you for review. We have this coming year, 26, 27, we have an interesting situation where we're starting before Labor Day because of the lateness of Labor Day. The following year, so for 27, 28, we'd like to go back to that kind of our traditional schedule, which is starting the Wednesday after Labor Day. And so that puts us at September 8th. The winter break is pretty natural because it gives time before Christmas and then also time after New Year's, which is really nice. Spring break, first full week of April is pretty traditional for us in this district now. And the last day is kind of tentative, of course, based on, as you know, because we just approved the revised calendar for this year. So it's always dependent on snow days or electrical power outages or floods or whatever may happen that year. So that's the tentative last day of school, which gives us a couple days before the June 19th holiday. So it's kind of tenuous in there a little bit, but because you've got Labor Day on one side now and Juneteenth on the other end, trying to, balance those holidays. So this is the proposal for you for that 27, 28 school year. And we're trying to keep it, at least a whole year in front. So we try to bring the following year to you in the spring so that we can have a kind of give parents a heads up.
What do your unions say about, because I know Lakewood, we talked about that, and I can't remember what I read. Something about prior Labor Day, and a lot of the people I'm working with as teachers were like, that's a nice option. So then you're getting out earlier.
Right.
And then the other school of thought is, gosh, August is such a great month here. We want to take all we can on it. And then you're also pushing back then that week before teachers are mandated and doing that, the time that you're in the school and getting prepped. And then you're going to push that another week early. So do your union support this?
I've run this by both our unions. They're fine with it. Again, this is typical what we do. It's also in our AEA, our teachers union contract, that we follow these kind of guidelines. And so for this coming year, we had to get an exception from.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah. Okay.
And we did a survey actually on when people wanted to start, and that was, I think we did a survey for this.
Okay. And they were fine.
That's what they majority wanted.
Okay.
So with the Friday off, so we do the Tuesday, so this coming year is like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday with Friday off. So 4-day Labor Day weekend.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So that's kind of how we, I guess.
Cushioned it a little bit. Yeah.
Both worlds, right?
Right.
The challenge with the holidays, I mentioned Labor Day and Juneteenth, is that for our 180-day employees, that is either a holiday or it's not a holiday, depending on if they start before that holiday or if they, start after the holiday.
Yeah.
So with our budget issues, that's a concern too for us, is trying to, decide how we can, best maximize our funds.
Right. That makes sense. I didn't think about that.
This is a student advisory vote. And Alex, this is the year after you graduate.
Yeah.
So.
It's like,
So how would you vote for this?
I vote yes.
All right, do we have a motion to approve our key calendar dates for 27, 28? Motion to approve the key calendar dates for 27, 28.
I'll second.
It's been moved by Eric Knapp and seconded by Matt Diamond to approve the key calendar dates for 27, 28. Madam Clerk. Director Diamond?
Aye.
Director Kelly?
Aye.
Director Watts? Aye. President Levesque? Aye. Director Knapp? Aye. Motion passes. Now we can all plan your vacation time. Next up, we'd like to welcome up Brian Lewis, our Executive Director of Operations, for Resolution 2604, rejecting bids and call for new.
Good evening, everybody. Brian Lewis, Executive Director of Operations.
Tonight, I'm bringing you a resolution asking for your approval of it or adoption of it. This was related to a bid process that we conducted last 2 weeks ago, time flies, for a re-roof project at Arlington High School. We made an error in the process of opening the bids where we didn't require a subcontractor listing presented with the bids themselves. The law changed last year that defined what needed to be included in the bid package. We made a mistake and didn't catch it. We caught it now after a review of the bids and a question from one of the contractors. Consulted with our attorney regarding construction matters. They advised that we reject all the bids that we received and conduct the bid process again following adoption of this resolution. So in this whereas here describes the requirement for us to collect or for bidders to submit subcontractor bids. And this is for like HVAC, plumbing, and electrical work. We had a couple of contractors that did submit at the time of bid. They received 7 bids, and 5 of those contractors did not submit at the time of bid. So in order to comply with the law and provide a fair playing field to all the other contractors that did submit bids, we're asking you to reject the bids and let us reconduct the bid process.
And this is just for the roof on Arlington High School, you said?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, Mary.
Brian, what would the timeline be after, like, say yes happens tonight? How long would it take to go out for bid and what's the deadline to receive the bids?
So we're getting a little bit ahead of you, unfortunately, in the interest of time. We've already advertised to reconduct the bid process, and that requires a 2-week period after our first advertisement. So our bid opening date is next Thursday. And we've requested a special board meeting purely for the purpose of accepting a bid from a contractor on June 2nd. This will help us secure a contractor in time to get to work in June on the roof.
Still be able to get the roof done this summer.
Yes, substantial completion is August 28th. Now, substantial completion does not necessarily mean totally complete enough for an architect to issue a warranty or to recommend issuing a warranty on the work. There may still be some work that needs to be conducted. Part of the issue involved in that is make sure that we have a safe environment for our students and staff to attend school during that period of time. And it will be a safe environment for that.
Shorter summer because Labor Day.
Very quick.
We start before Labor Day. Right. Any questions? Do we have a motion to approve resolution 2604?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2604.
Second. Been moved by Director Watts, and seconded by Director Kelly to approve resolution number 2604. Director Diamond?
Yes.
Director Kelly?
Yes.
Director Watts?
Yes.
President Levesque? Yes. Yes. Thank you. Resolution passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Next up is our informational item. We'll start with our superintendent report. Dr. Sweeting.
I wanted to share that we received notice that Post Middle School received a special award from the state, and really only one of 16% of the schools of the schools statewide, and it was for closing the gaps for especially English language learners. So there's a big that I have in my office that I'll be taking over to the school, and they'll be able to, show that proudly. The next thing is Congresswoman Bill Benny was at the high school on May 7th, and it was awesome to just see her interacting with students and answering questions and students asking questions. They did a nice job. Alex, thank you for asking questions. And so that was good to see. And thank you to both Sherry and Erica for being there. And then I wanted to say also that this month, it's on our district website, but we are honoring the Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. So that's on our website with resources to go along with that. And I'm looking forward to Student Voices tomorrow at SBLC.
Okay, thank you. Very cool. Next up is our legislative update. Director Kelly, anything to share?
Not too much. I did bring a, as I've shared before, I am very focused on cell phone policy. And so I follow Education Week, comes out with cell phone policy, media policies, gosh, probably twice or three times a week. This particular one that came out just about 2 weeks ago, a federal school cell phone policy. So it's just interesting to think about, they're looking at a study. I can't remember, it wasn't Education Week, but it was another website, and I don't get it very often. It popped up on my feed, but it really came down to, we can make all the policies we want. We know that having something in place, creating those guardrails for cell phone usage during school is extremely effective. But it really, what the article is pretending is that what it really comes down to is culturally. So if you go back to when cigarettes were a thing, when I was a kid, maybe not as much when I was a kid, my parents both smoked, but when the shift happened where it no longer became cool and acceptable, when that shifted, then you had less young people being intrigued by it. So I think that that's kind of what my feeling is about the cell phone use. Like, yes, having some federal or state laws as guidance saying that we know these things, not allowing this during the school day. I would also argue that maybe not having something even during passing period and lunchtime, because I think that takes away from those social interactions and can lead to some other things happening that we want to prevent. So I would ask for something a little more strict, but we really have to look at it as a culture. And I think that's what we have to look at. We have to really see that. And when we make the shift and say, when we realize that benefit of the social connections and what are we losing? What time are we losing in putting ourselves into this device versus connecting with others? Not to mention the mental health. What are we losing of our young people's mental health? Right? So they're not adults. They don't have that perspective. Me getting a cell phone when I was an adult was way different than a 5-year-old being handed this device and using that as that outlet. And then it just becomes one with a person. And so I will continue to read those kind of articles, and I will advocate for the kids, because it's kind of like back in the day, commercials. The children don't have filters for those things. Kids don't watch TV with commercials anymore. It's another thing. But back in the day, I was against that because I knew that would have an effect on my kiddos. So we have to look at what this is now to these young people. And I will also say what I've read is that kids appreciate it. The kids want the adults in the room to do something. So I've also shared that it's like smoking of our time. And we can't wait until someone tells us that this is, oh my goodness, why did we allow this? I don't want to wait to get the emails. We're getting this already with Facebook and Google and these companies. We're getting a greater understanding of just how much this is impacting our young people. And I don't want to be the one on the hook saying we didn't know. So we have to kind of stay ahead of this media and say, just provide some perspective. So whatever that means and how we can do that. So anyway, I just my little, I don't call it a diatribe, but something that I'm passionate about, not just because it's a device, but it's what that device does and what it leads to. And I do want our children to be mentally well and make good decisions. And so let's try to stay up on those things for you.
If you could share it with Dr. Schweden, board update.
Sure.
Next up is our comments from board members. And Alex, would you like to go first tonight?
Sure. Personally, I don't have much to share. I think the kids did great tonight. They were such good speakers and so proud of them. Their writing was immaculate. I was really grateful that we had some community members come out and speak. I think that was really amazing to see. I really love when our community comes out and are able to see them. I'm excited for the summer and being able to go out and connect with our community in their space. I'm very grateful for our special education council, and I'm very excited to see what is gonna be happening next year of our more students and our next projects. I think it's the council I think I've learned the most on. It has the most acronyms. So that's very helpful for me. I'm excited to go see SDLC tomorrow, go see Voices. That's all I need to share. Oh, and ASL3 leaves for Washington, DC on the 13th. That's exciting. Yay.
Thank you, Alex. Always great to have your voice. You do a great job. Sherry, do you have anything else to add?
I just want to add that, yeah, I think we need to get some girls flag football here because my kiddos did it with a co-ed league and it was fun. Oh my gosh, my kids did it in the rain and skies hair was just dripping and it was, yeah, I mean, they played with the boys and it was just super fun. So I would support making that happen. So there we go.
Great. Matt, anything you'd like to add tonight?
The presentation of the kids was awesome. Seeing their passion about the houses is super cool. Say this wrong, but that's
Officium.
so it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Thank you. Jeanette? Or what?
She said.
I was going back and forth. Sorry.
Track is having leagues this week. I can't believe that the end of the season is almost upon us. Seems like it's just gone way too quickly. I know you're having those senior tears coming. I'm glad to toss it to you. Cabaret, I'm gonna pitch my
please do.
plug for cabarets coming at the end of this month. I'm really excited. I get to see some of those kids perform. I just love the songs that they choose of their, on their own and how they perform it. I'm so proud to be Dignitas and for my first meeting. I hope I get to be invited to that. That would be a fun thing to do. And I just really like how they found a creative way to increase their belonging and leadership. We saw 8 leaders that hopefully will be within our district for a long time. That was so creative. And I think even with our special education, you guys showed how you're creating belonging too by transitioning, which is our goal. Thank you, Matt, for the droids.
Yes,
They were a
so
big hit
fun.
at my house. That was pretty cool walking in with a Star Wars droid. And the last week and this week, they overlap, but Teachers and Nurses Week, 2 professions that are very difficult and caring for our community. So, yeah. And you need to do both those groups.
Thank you, Director Watts. Now, Director Knapp. You don't get to be Director Watts. We can just switch your name.
Switch your roles.
Oh, this was just a great meeting. I loved hearing everybody's passions and all the hard work that community members, parents, employees are all putting into this district and seeing the request for the flag football. That was information that I didn't know. So something new tonight. I'm grateful for that. Something I just wrote down listening to what you were talking about with belonging and leadership was I wrote belonging builds leaders. I think that's something to keep in mind. We're building this network of student leaders through our belonging work. So yeah, tomorrow is my 20th wedding anniversary. So that feels really strange, but good. So yeah, but I will be at SBLC in the morning. I'm not gonna miss that.
Anniversary or not.
Well, like anniversary coffee and then I'll go.
Thank you. I want to share that I also was moved to tears multiple times by our amazing special ed leadership and all the great things that are happening that, it was time. And it was pretty great. I wish my son had had some of those supports. I remember him just on the floor underneath a desk and one of those back to school nights and like, how are we gonna, I don't know what we're gonna do. It's scary. And just so many times I wish there'd been a little bit more help. So thank you for providing that help for so many kids.
Yeah.
It's the best thing we can do. Help them with some transitions and I can just get my kid to pass all his classes, no pressure, Mr. Hollis. Still needs a little bit of extra support. Looking forward to a lot of fun senior activities that he gets to be part of this week. Tonight was the mentor tea, and I hope my husband took him. I don't know if that happened, but I hope that they got to do that. And this Saturday, there's a field trip with the band, and they're gonna be marching in a parade and taking the ferry boat, and
What parade is that one?
and I get to chaperone, so everybody wash your hands and yes. Looking forward to swinging this spring, which is fun. I might just make you all dance. And
When is that meeting?
the swing into spring is May 29th. It's really only, one night only, it's $20. Get your tickets now.
First pasta?
And there's pasta.
Making pasta?
And there's bands and I think choir and I think Post and Howler. Oh, there's some food.
Yeah.
Don't get
No,
excited.
It's not like.
You're there for the kids. It's for the kids. It's for the kids. And looking forward to all the fun senior activities that are happening coming up with prom, and my son thinks he's going to a senior skip day, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's not allowed. You have too many absences, you're playing too many classes. So I don't know if your principal's gonna let you do that. But he thinks he's gonna get to do all the fun things, and I'm just really grateful for the teachers and nurses and all the support that has helped my family and all of our amazing, awesome, exhausting children over many, many, many years in this district. And it's kind of wrapping up that chapter, and it's an emotional one, and woo, just gonna be crying every day now. It's fine. That's okay. And I want to remind everybody about our next upcoming meetings. Our next study session is on the Tuesday after Memorial Day.
Oh, right.
So it's May 26th. And we have our study session at 4 o'clock upstairs. And then we have a regular meeting downstairs right here at 6 o'clock, like regular. And that's Tuesday, May 26th. And then we are going to go into executive session. So I'm going to read my little script. We will now recess this meeting so that the board may convene in an executive session to review the performance of an employee. I estimate the executive session will last approximately 30 minutes, during which time no final action will be taken. And following the executive session, this meeting will be reconvened for the sole purpose of adjournment. And my phone says it is 7:57. So if I do some math, that means it's going to be 8:27 p.m. when we return. Ready? 3 minutes. welcome back. We have returned from our executive session and we have one action item left and that is our adjournment. Do we have?
I make a motion to adjourn.
I will second that motion.
It has been moved by Director Watts and seconded by Director Diamond to adjourn the meeting. Madam Clerk.
Aye.
Trustee Kelly.
Aye.
Aye. Yes, Director Nick. Yay. Meeting's adjourned. Drive safe. You